Hello, Young Cold here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to have a few words on this coronavirus. I suppose it's totally in the news now and it seems to be on everybody's lips. So watch the intro and stay tuned. Firstly, I'd like to say to anyone who has contracted it, then, I hope you get well soon. Secondly, I want to give my condolences to anyone who's lost someone, due to this virus. It's a tragedy. It's a scary thought just how rampant this virus is. But do you think the government has done enough so far? Or do you think they've acted fast enough? Now, I'm just an ordinary man in the street, but am I right in thinking that when this first became known about, should we have put a quarantine plan in action then? So basically anyone entering the UK, be it business or coming back from holiday, we have a bus on the runway, straight into quarantine. I don't know how long you'd have to do it, a week, 2 weeks, but in that time people could be tested. I mean, surely that might have been a better solution. I don't know. But yes, it'd be expensive. But it's not going to be as expensive now with all the businesses being closing and everything else. And people getting paid 80% of the salary. How much is that going to cost the government, to deal with it now when, in my opinion, it should have been dealt with as soon as people get off the plane. I mean, if anybody had booked a holiday and they're going to go away, then they should be told, yeah, okay, fine, you go away. But when you come back, you're going to be going to quarantine or you're going to be tested before you're allowed back into the public, I don't quite understand that. Now, pubs and restaurants have had to close, so it looks like we could be heading towards a total lockdown. But all because someone brought this virus into the UK. Now, granted, it weren't their fault. They wouldn't have known they had it in the first place. But I just think we could have probably been a little bit more vigilant from day one. I don't quite get where all this panic buying comes from. From all the people I know in retail, they've all said, we've got plenty of food. Deliveries are coming in all the while. The only reason we're running out is because people are buying more than they need. I even read where one of the large electrical stores has sold out of freezers. Everyone's been buying freezers purely to get more food in. And all this thing about toilet roll, for a start off, the virus don't affect the rear end anyway, and you can't eat it. It's just total madness. People of my age will remember the miners' strike. The power stations didn't get the coal, so they couldn't produce as much electricity, and 2 or 3 nights a week you had no electricity. If you was all electric, it was difficult to cook food. But that was it. People just sort of basically went bed, nothing else to do. That must have increased the population somewhat at 9 months later. But if you also remember the miners' strike, you'll also remember when Corona was a pop, came in many flavours. My dad remembers growing up in wartime, and all food was rationed, and I'm sure he said, you'll have something like about 2 eggs a week. You can't even make a decent omelette with that. But everyone got through, they all pulled together, the British spirit. Everyone helped each other and everyone pulled together and everyone got through it. Last Sunday it would have been our club's egg run where we all take, Easter eggs and we take them to a day centre, and the eggs are usually for, sick and underprivileged children. So it's a good event to take part in. But, sadly our club chairman decided, quite rightly so, that it's going to be a mass gathering of people. Well, not mass, but there'll be quite a few people there. So the run was cancelled. eggs were still donated, and the chairman actually took them in his car and dropped them off, so at least the kids didn't go without. But this is what needs to be done. You know, people just have a little bit of common sense. And then on the news the same day, you've seen people all on the East Coast crammed into amusement arcades. You know, not much sense in that. You know, this lockdown's bad. You know, I'm going to hate being confined to barracks. You know, my hobbies are, you know, target shooting and riding my motorbike. And I can't do either, really, you know, so it's bad. But we've all got to do our bit. It's not going to affect me as much as a lot of poor souls. You know, some people are going to find it a real problem, you know. For me, it's more of a large inconvenience with the things I'd got planned. I had got tickets to go and see Evanescence. Well, they've been cancelled. I've got my bike trip to Scotland in June. That looks like that might be gone, along with me trip to Bruges in July. Even that could be cancelled. I'll have to wait and see. Regards teaching, as many of you might know, I'm a volunteer motorbike instructor, and we're not now doing the teaching in the evenings. You know, we might still do some CBTs for key workers who need their bike to get to work, and obviously it's illegal to ride without the CBT. So we're just trying to wait for a decision to be made on that now. But apart from that, there's no training going on at all. Mind you, the test centres aren't open, so it's not really going to delay people in that way. I was talking to a couple the other week, and they should be on their cruise now, you know, going on a nice Caribbean cruise. But, you know, that's been cancelled. Now, I don't know how you go on in that situation. I'm sure you would get some form of compensation, but, you know, how much is this going to cost the travel industry? I mean, you know, there'll be even more probably companies go under. I mean, a few of them have been dropping like flies already, but this will just be the icing on the cake for a lot of businesses. You know, it's quite concerned, really. Now, my wife works in a care home, you know, and it's you know, she's enjoys the work and everything else, but they've been told that if they go into a complete lockdown, then they want some members of staff, preferably those without dependent children, to actually move in for a period of time. Now, this could be 2 weeks plus, you know. Okay, the downside is she's not at home. Okay, she will get paid for 24 hours a day, so even when she goes sleep there, you're still on the payroll. But at the end of the day, that will leave me and my grown-up stepson on our own to fend for ourselves. You know, we'll be able to have a beer and watch what we want on the telly. Oh, have a few takeouts delivered, staying up all night on the PlayStation. Nah, we don't really want to do that. So anyway, just take care, be sensible, and keep your mixing with others down to an absolute minimum where you can. You know, okay, we still got to go out and get food, medicines, etc. But, you know, don't panic buy. Keep an eye on the elderly neighbours, you know. Okay, some of them might have family who can go and check on them. But if they're not, you know, just pop by and make sure they're okay. If they need anything, you know, do your best to try and help them. So, I wish you all just to, you know, take care. Keep yourself as safe as you can. Don't expose yourself to unnecessary risk. Well, thanks for watching. If you like, please tick. Subscribe is always nice. It does help the channel. And all that's left for me to say is keep safe, ride safe, and bye for now.